Hey guys, welcome to Traditional Bow Hunting Wilderness Podcast. This is Jason Samkovic, and today we're going to talk about this grinder right here and the reason it's so valuable. And if you do any hunting, which obviously if you're watching this channel you probably do, but if you process your own animals, or even if you don't process your own animals but you like to do a lot of your own cooking and things like that, having a good grinder is important. I'm going to explain to you today why I love this one, and I've been through a lot of them, and we're going to cover the details of it, the pros and the cons and the advantages to it. I've had this grinder now, I want to say maybe I'm pushing 4 years that I've been using this grinder, and I absolutely love it. I've been through probably, I want to say 9 or 10 of the other ones. Sometimes I'd get I'd get a year and a half out of them and they'd go down. Keep in mind, we're usually, we could be processing 10, 12 animals a year, but those other ones, the cheaper versions that I bought just didn't hold up. So when I wanted to look for a new grinder, I wanted something a little more commercial grade, a little better. There were a few options out there, a few good options, but some of the lessons I learned in using those other grinders led me to the Lem system. And I really have been impressed with it. It's been a great unit. This one is probably done, I want to say it's probably done maybe 35 animals through here. I just got done doing my bear, the rest of my bear meat that I just got from that bear I killed up in Ontario. I just got done grinding on the rest of the burger for that. It's done over 100 pounds at a time, like in one run with this grinder. When we had to hog hunt, we had, like I said, ton of grind for that when the kids killed the wild hog. So this thing has just been invaluable. It's something I don't go without. Lem makes a few different models of them in this commercial grade line. They call it their Big Bite series, which I'll get into for you. Basically, you have a number 5, which you can see a number 12 on here, is right here on the throat of this, so you can identify it. But the number 5 is a 0.35 horse, a little more than a quarter horse engine in it, and a little smaller in size and stature. They got a number 8, which is a half horse. They got the number 12, which you see is this. It says number 12 on there. This number 12 3/4 horse model. They got the number 22, which is a 1 horse, and they got a number 32, which is a 1.5 horse. This one here in particular, this number 12 3/4 horse, will do just about everything. I can't keep up with this thing. It outworks me, and it goes faster than I can. I do have friends that have the 1.5 horse, and that one's a beast, and it gets everything done as well too. And I also have a buddy that has the 0.35 horse and loves it too. So you really can't go wrong with any of them. But this one here happens to be my favorite size. It's the perfect size. That's not too big to store, not too hard to use, and not too heavy to move around. This thing weighs 33 pounds. This unit right here. This is a beast. But some of the things that separate that out, even in the build quality and construction of this, you're talking full stainless steel housing on this thing, which is amazing. That's awesome. There's no plastic on here like that other than the handle. But I mean, the whole thing is stainless steel. It uses steel gears in there. It's got a permanently lubricated motor that runs super quiet. The whole build quality of this thing is meant to last a lifetime, to be high quality, and so it's got major advantages. But even your plates and your sausage stuffer plates, and you got another one in here on there, and even your cutters, they're all stainless steel. They're all very high grade stainless steel, which means they're going to hold up very well and they're not going to wear out on you. So that's a major advantage to them. Another great advantage is that these components, these replaceable items that you will maybe eventually have to replace. On my other grinders, I've had to replace cutters on them quite often. On this one, I have not had to yet. And like I said, I've done a lot of animals with them. But when you have to replace these kind of components, they're very affordable. Comparatively, some of my other cheaper models that I had, you had to really hunt down those parts, and you would pay a lot more money, double or triple what you would pay for these from Lem. You would pay to be able to get those for some of those cheaper grinders. So that's a major asset to these, is the fact that these components and these parts for them are available a lot of places. One of the other grinders I looked at was the Cabela's one. Great lineup. They make fantastic grinders. They have for a long time. But you're limited to buying your stuff through Cabela's. Lem, you can find it at a lot of your local stores. You can find it at a ton of places online. These are available right from Lem, as with the parts. There's options for them to get them anywhere you want, so it's readily available, and the prices are cheap comparatively for your components you need compared to a lot of the less expensive grinders that are out there. You're going to pay more for the parts and maintenance, and you're going to have to do it more often because they're not as high quality as these are. So there's major advantages to this. Now, what makes this one win for me is the Big Bite technology, which I will take apart and show you. But that Big Bite technology is an auger design, and in this inside the auger in here, which I'll show you in a tube. But what is really what strives. You have a plunger, okay? This comes with it, with all grinders. And the whole concept is you put your meat here, you push it down into the hole in here, and then you press it down into there, and that's what pushes the force and forces it through here. With that Big Bite technology, I don't have to use this very often. Okay, I don't have to feed stuff, feed stuff, feed stuff. With this thing, a lot of times you can just drop the chunks in and it just takes it from you because of that Big Bite technology, that auger that's in there. It grabs them from you as soon as it hits there and it spits them right out very fast. This particular grinder here will do 11 pounds per minute. 11 pounds of meat per minute. This thing, it flies. It runs through this stuff really quick, really easy, and gets the job done very well. And some other benefits to that auger type, and also the rifling that's inside here, which this is actually this whole tube right here where that auger is spinning through, it's rifled like a gun barrel. It actually has rifling inside of there. What's nice about that is between that and the Big Bite auger that's in there and the quality of the cutters and the stuff and the plates that you get in here, is this will handle silver skin and things like that a lot better, the tallow and the stuff like that you know, you may not want on your steaks, but for your burger it's going to melt out anyway, so it really doesn't matter that much. You can be a little I guess the word would be a little, when you're processing your animals, you can be a little less concerned about making sure you remove all that stuff. For example, shanks. You know, used to be with my other grinders, I'd have to go through and chase that silver skin out of every single muscle part of that shank meat in order to get it to be able to feed through my grinder. With this, I could just take that whole entire shank, cut it up into a few chunks, throw it in there, silver skin and tendons, and you know, all that stuff, and it runs it right through, sweet and easy. And when you cook that stuff, it melts right out anyway. So there's a lot of advantages to it. Now, and what else is nice with it too, it does come with a 5-year warranty, and it comes with lifetime customer service. And again, this thing is serviceable by them. The motor, like I said, sealed and everything. This one is also a few years old. Like I said, it had about 4 years. Now, the new version of it does also come with a slide-out tray in there, which is pretty nice. So you got a place to store some of your accessories in there if you want to. That's a nice little feature they put on there. But for 4 years, in a lot of animals, this thing has not let me down, not once. And like I said, I laugh when I'm running it because I have to work at full speed to make it happen. And I will show you that technology and that kind of stuff in there for you so you see all that. We'll break it apart in a minute. Before we do, I'll mention a couple other things here too. These components come with it here. That you have your plunger, you have your different size stuffing tubes that come with it. It comes with your plates. I did buy a separate cutter. The reason for it is I like to run the same, you know, this cutter and this plate stay together all the time. This is one set, goes in its own little bag. The cutter and plate that's in here with this size stay together all the time too. That way they wear evenly as they're wearing. I'm not changing this cutter to a different plate. They work together in unison. So when you're doing as many animals and as much processing, so we do a lot of our own, even our beef and stuff like that, we do our own through this. So it's nice to have that kind of setup. But again, not expensive to be able to get it that way. But you get all these components with it. This system right here too, another great option for it. This is a quick bagger system. You put this tube, this wider tube, which is designed for the baggers, mounts right on here. And then as that's sitting in there like that, as your stuffing is full, you can take these bags that Lem also offers, feed them right on his tube. You open this up like this. These are, you get them, this is a 1 pound tube bag. They come in 2 pounds, they come in different sizes, but basically what you do is you just stick that on there, and as that feeds, that's going to fill that full and fill it full, and as it does, you just keep sliding it. Once you have that filled to that line for 1 pound, which makes it easy, you don't have to weigh them, you give that a twist, drop this through there, and this tape dispenser seals tapes and cuts that all off right there and makes a perfect set for you. These bags are not expensive, and this tape dispenser setup is not expensive, but it is nice to be able to fill it, give it a couple twists, slap, get the next one on, and you run, and you're no longer having to use your food saver or your vacuum sealer and set all that stuff up for your burger setup. This system is a pretty flawless setup, so I wanted to kind of show that to you so you saw it. But it is, and again, not very expensive to do this stuff. I will actually, at the bottom of this down here in the description, I'll have a link where you can find a grinder, and you'll also, when you're there, you can find all these other things real simple by looking for the accessories, and I'll put a link for Amazon on there. I'm an affiliate with Amazon, so it makes it nice. I'll have the grinder on there for you so you can check it out and see all that stuff. And while you're there, if you just look at Lem Accessories, you'll find these components as well too for you. But now, as far as the actual unit itself with that Big Bite technology, what you have here is you have obviously highest grade level steel you could imagine in this stuff. This is top notch heirloom quality stuff. It's not going to give you any problems. But that's basically that pan. Comes off very sweet, very simple, nothing to it. Now here is where the advantage of this thing is, and lies in here, and that is, which all this stuff breaks down very easy. This whole assembly comes out of there. I'll show you. So when you clean this, it's super simple to do. What I do with it is, once I'm done using it, I take all these components out. I fill the sink up with some hot soapy water, and I just throw them in there, let them sit there and soak for a little bit. And then when I'm done, I just clean them by hand and then wipe this thing off. It takes literally 2 minutes to clean this thing and put it back, to be done with it. But there's the bigger cutter, or plate, and my other cutter that goes with it. Again, I keep those separated because I want those to wear together nice and even. And then you have the auger in here. Now here is the advantage. See this big gap right here? That section in there, this distance from here to here, how it varies, and see how you got different amount of space between the teeth on this thing. That is that Big Bite technology. So what's really advantageous to that is you can actually run this, instead of having to cut little small strips and things like that, or the recommended kind of pre-freeze your meat so it's not real sticky and it goes through better. You don't have to do any of that stuff with this. I never do. But because of that Big Bite technology that's inside of here, what happens is you can run strips or 1x1 chunks or bigger chunks, but you don't have to cut and dice everything up as small as you do with a lot of other grinders. This thing will take it and suck it right in, and you have no problem with it. And like I said, most of the time, you don't even need to use a plunger on there, especially if you're running, your bigger plate like this. It goes through so fast you can't keep up with it. And what I do like about the plate is it does give you enough room. Like when we're doing venison, the tray here gives you enough room inside of here that I can actually stack venison here, and then I can put some like standard beef ground round here, and I may want to mix a little bit. For about every 30 pounds of venison we grind, I'm usually grinding in about 5 pounds of actual beef ground round. So I use it for the fat content, and it also does extend it out and give you more. So it's not a very, that ratio, you're not getting a lot of beef in there, but you're getting the fat content from the beef, and you're also gaining a little more extension on how much meat you end up having. So, but the tray allows me enough room in here to be able to stack both sets. I can have the beef here and the venison here, start dumping in a lot of venison, throwing a little piece of beef, that kind of thing. So it gives me that luxury with the amount of space in there. But that Big Bite auger right there, that technology right there is the key to this. It grabs that meat when it comes in there, it works it through real good. The quality of the plates and the way that this cutter is designed, and the quality of that cutter makes it where this stuff, it just eats up the silver skin and everything. And then the rifling that I was telling you about, which is really nice, is right in here. You can see it right there. You can kind of see that shape on there. I'm trying to turn it a little bit lightwise so you can see it on there. I'm guessing somewhere in there. But that rifling that's designed on there that you have in there, this one here, the new one, is even more rifled than what you're seeing on mine. But that helps channel and move just like a bullet going down a rifle barrel, how that does that spiral effect, you get the same thing when that meat's coming out. It makes it really easy. But you can see how compact and simple this unit is and how it breaks down. You take all of these things, put them right inside your tray, stack all this stuff in there, and then it doesn't take up much room. You can stack this, and you can fit it in a cabinet, put it wherever you want. So it's a nice system, but again, high quality. Look at the size of that throat on that thing. It eats up the meat. I mean, it takes it right in and spits it right out and makes it really good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say on it. Like I said, the plates and the cutters too, high grade stainless steel on there, and but the grinder it works. It's as good as they get. I can't rave enough about it. There are other good grinders out there, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to it, I think Lem is going to be one of your better options. Top shelf in every single way. Great customer service. The units have just been around for a long time, and they're built the right way so that they're going to last and they're going to do what you want. And if you're a hunter and you process your own meat, you need to have a grinder. It's well worth the money for these. They're not that really super expensive. So, take a look at them, check them out. Like I said, I'll have a link below here for you that you can go right there and see it. And you can see this actual grinder. I'll put the link for the 3/4 horse on there so you can check that out. And like I said, all the other accessories are right there and easy to find too. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully gained something from it. This is, like I said, been one of the best hunting purchases that I've ever made. Has been this right here. I mean, just in the money I save alone by processing my own animals versus having to have it done, this thing is paid for in half a hunting season. This is paid for versus what it cost me to have deer processed at a butcher and that kind of stuff. So well worth it, top notch. It'll last for a long time. I have complete faith in it. It's been one of the best tools I've ever bought. So go click that link down below so you can check it out, and you see some of the specs and everything for you on there. I think I did tell you 33 pounds. Does fold up pretty compact and simple. I take all these things stacked together. The design of it just makes it really easy, so you can put all this stuff. I actually put it all right in a Ziploc bag. I set it all right in there. This goes right up in my cabinet like this. And then once it's up there, we take this, and I don't even put it on. I just set it just like that. So that's the whole unit. All this stuff sits right in this tray, and I just set it right like that up in the cabinet. When I need it, you grab the tray, grab the unit, set the unit on the counter, plug this stuff together, which goes together ultra fast and sweet and simple. So nothing to it. Put that in there. It's got a nice locking knob on this side. Like that, sets right in there, and then you put your auger in, line up the gears on there, plate goes on, cutter goes on, and then the plate. So I stick that on there. These are nice because they're indexed too as well, so it's got that notch right on there, sits right on perfect, and falls right into that notch, just like that. If you're going to run that plate, here is where you would put that plate on, and then mount that for any of your stuffer tubes or anything like that. But just makes it very, very simple, very easy to use, and nothing to it. And for cleaning, like I said, just take all these components, throw them right inside your sink, hot soapy water, clean them up real good, wipe this thing off, put it away. Sweet, simple, done and easy, and you will love it. I just can't rave enough about it. If you've been using the little $99 grinders or the little $150 grinders that are out there and that kind of stuff, I'm telling you, I've been there. I was that guy, and I fought it like crazy. And I went through I went through enough of those grinders in 3.5 years that I basically could have paid for this then, and since then I've been running this thing here just non-stop for all kinds of everything, and it has, like I said, between deer processing and alone, this thing has paid for itself a dozen times over. Cannot rave enough about this thing. Highly recommend it. This is the Lem 3/4 horse number 12. Bigger and smaller sizes that still have all of these same features. The Big Bite technology, the rifled tubes in there, the the high quality components. All that stuff is available in the other models as well too. This one I just think is that perfect happy medium to give you the speed and power to do whatever you want to do, and where you're not going to outgrow it or outrun it. And it also, It's not too big or too much of a pain in the butt to store somewhere, to take out, put where you need to, and use it. So there it is right there for you. That's the Lem 3/4 horse Big Bite meat grinder. I highly recommend you get one. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.